Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
These are the Kendo warriors here. Good morning to you, Mariko, Chiba, Kelvin, Quincy Williams, Jason Windsor, all from the Shoshin Kendo Dojo. And we are joined by Eddie DeVries as well, who is the head instructor at the Shoshin Kendo Dojo. Good morning to you, Eddie.
Sub-Same warriors.
And yes, these are our three Kendo fighters here this morning, and they have just been demonstrated for us. Eddie, it looks very much almost, and I saw it described some on the internet, as akin to fencing, in which you, and I'm wondering how Mariko is earning points in there. Are you being, if it was an actual fight, would you be getting points for each strike that she was making on Jason?
That was a demonstration, so that was very low-key,
Sedate.
controlled, comfortable demonstration where we can do a few seconds is do a more realistic fighting scenario. It won't be as clear as that. But yes, in effect, those are the basic techniques, what Mariko was demonstrating just now. The 4 basic techniques in Kendo, of which there's hundreds of variations too. But in a nutshell, that was the basics of Kendo.
When you use that word, what I want to use also, nutshell. Tell us what Kendo is in a nutshell with regards to a martial art.
Right. Yeah. Well, Kendo was designed hundreds of years ago in Japan by these warriors that were fighting to kill and so on. But they had to practice as well, practice in ways that they wouldn't hurt each other. So they designed an armor that was portable. They designed swords that they could use without chopping each other's limbs. So and over the years, they developed a curriculum. They developed a system of techniques that was easier to teach and to expand in Japan. So around the 1900s is where effectively Kendo was really formed and started to be formalized, and that's where Kendo really started and grew. So Kendo is really an activity that emulates in a certain way the type of exercise and types of techniques that were used hundreds of years ago on the battlefields in Japan.
Now we're going to tell you a bit of Eddie's history and how he came to be in Trinidad and so on after this. But first of all, I'd like to invite Mariko Chiba to come forward here and give us a look at her Kendo sword. If you could just perhaps show us, and perhaps you could describe this sword. It's a bamboo sword.
Yes, bamboo sword.
And it makes a noise, a crack when it is struck against somebody. It sounds like you're doing great damage. How much does it hurt? Ask Jason Windsor that. Because you seem to be the legs over here. Jason, how does it actually hurt when you are hit?
Not that much. No, the armor is designed to protect the practitioner. So all you really feel is just the vibration of the impact, but the armor does its work and protects you from all the strikes that is made.
If you were to be hit without that armor, though, it would be a good blow.
Yes.
And what do you spend much of your time doing in Kendo training, Eddie? If you could tell us, what is it about? It's about the poses? Is it more about the physicality?
Any beginner joining Kendo, and our friend here could attest probably, but any beginner studying Kendo, a lot of physical. You're learning movements that you're not familiar with, your body's not familiar with, so it requires a lot of physical work. Having said that, over time, eventually it becomes a much more mental and strategic, tactical fight. So less physical over time. A class, typically, we would spend about half an hour preparing, warming up, doing basic techniques, practicing different ways to remember and improve those basic techniques. And after that, we do a lot more active and a lot more involved demonstration, practice that you're probably going to see next week.
All right, before we go to our next demonstration, tell us about the levels of a Kendo practitioner. You know, you have the beginners, and what's the highest level, and what's in between?
Well, beginners, yes. What's nice about Kendo is... what's nice about Kendo is you don't stop Kendo. You don't reach 40 years old, 50, and you stop. You continue up until you die. In Japan, it's very common to see a little old man who are 85 years old and he's still going. So the levels are similar to other martial arts, where you pass examinations and you get grades. But like I said, you continue. It never ends, and it never becomes any easier. So it's a constant fight against yourself to improve and to develop new skills.
Eddie DeVries, according to his history on the internet, is a Canadian who moved to Trinidad 6 years ago. He started in Montreal, then he went on to Tokyo in Japan, where he was for 5 years studying Kendo. Do you still practice yourself?
Yeah, of course I do. Today I had a meeting, so I didn't practice. But of course I do. We have
to be one of those little old men walking around.
Exactly. I let them sweat in the morning, and yeah, no, but I do. Of course, we all do. We have to, and we have to continue develop. As far as I'm concerned, now my job here is to try to promote and develop the activity. But I also myself have to participate in events and continue learning.
How is it growing in Trinidad and Tobago?
It's growing slowly, but it's growing at a pace that we can manage. We don't do active promotion or marketing or spending money on advertisement. We don't really do that. It's a more of a low-profile activity. We typically think that if people are very interested, they will find us. Well, obviously, opportunities like this help us spread the word. We're growing. We have a good group. We're doing a new program for beginners actually every few months now. So our first program of 3 months has generated about 12, 13 people who joined, which is a very good turnout. And every few months we'll have this kind of program. So far the growth is slow, but it's manageable, and people are very excited. We have a good group of people who practice.
Perhaps we can get just a little more of a
demonstration
without. Yes.
Because we'll move all the way. We tend to get anyway.
Explain when they disengage.
Well, there's no purpose to really stay each other close like that. They're trying to intimidate each other a little bit, but at the end of the day, they have to be at a fair distance. There's a nice technique on both sides there.
The sounds they're making, are they significant in any way?
Very much so. I mean, it's an attempt to intimidate and to release a little bit of the energy and project that against the opponent. It's like two lions fighting. They do that by making a lot of noise. So that's basically it.
All right, we're just going to take in one more strike. We are going to have to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to one of the Shoshin Kendo Dojo's new students about his experience at the dojo thus far. We take a break. We'll be right back.
The giant African snail is here. It was recently